Well, howdy, y'all. What you say here? Today, I'm going to talk to y'all about reason in life events. I'm going to start this out with a phrase I'm commonly say. And the phrase is, there's always a reason. Sometimes you may never know the reason, but there's always a reason for everything that happens. Now, there's another part to this phrase that I never usually say. Because I want the phrase not only to help people, but to motivate people. You know, that's what the first part of the phrase is about. There's always a reason. That part should encourage you and motivate you to find out, you know, what's the reason that this particular thing is happening to me in my life. Now, the second part of that, it gives you permission to say, I don't know the reason. I have thought about it, I have looked over it, and I cannot find the reason. So the second part of that phrase gives you permission to be okay with I don't know. And then just walk away. Now, the other part of this statement that I don't ever say, because I'm trying to motivate people and inspire people to take a look at their life, to take a look at events that are happening to them, and find the reasons behind it. Because when you're motivated to find the reason behind what's going on in your life, you inadvertently improve on yourself. Which brings me to the third part of the statement. Third part of this statement is there is a lesson to be learned. So when something particular in your life happens, you look for the lesson. And if you can't find the lesson, what's actually the third part of the phrase, gives you permission to say, okay, I can't find the lesson in this, and I'm okay with that. And I can stop looking for the lesson because I spent X amount of time looking for the lesson. One hasn't been clear, so now I move on to what would be the third part. Sometimes there isn't a reason, or sometimes there isn't a lesson. That is clear and evident. And it's okay to say, well, okay, I don't understand what the lesson is at this present moment in time, so I'm just going to chalk it up as something that eventually I'm going to learn. Down the road, 20 years from now, I mean, there are some things that have happened in my life 30 years ago that when I looked at it, then it was like, okay, there's no rhyme or reason. There's nothing for me to learn in this. And then 30 years later, it's like, ah, that was the lesson. It's so, because see, this is human psychology. We have to give ourselves permission. We've got to give ourselves permission to be alright. We got to give ourselves permission to cry, hoop, holler, and all that stuff. You know, a lot of the permissions that we give ourselves are on a subconscious level, and we never realize that we're giving ourselves permission or not giving ourselves permission. So, a statement like, there's always a reason, look for the lesson, and sometimes there is no reason. No, sometimes there is no clear and evident reason. It gives us permission to look for the reason. Then it gives us permission, after we haven't been able to find it, it gives us the permission to stop looking. And as a result, we indirectly improve our life, even though we may not see the reason or the lesson for what's going on in our life at the time. But we have opened up an avenue to give ourselves permission to continue to explore what's going on in our life. And by that continuing exploring of what's going on in our life, then we learn lessons to improve our life in a positive manner. And that's the only real goal in life. Is to improve your life in a positive manner. And I'll give you a very good example of this in action. Right here. I was hurt starting to wonder why I was still alive and why I had to live in the condition I was left. Everything had been taken from me that I ever loved and cared for. I thought this was a cruel, cruel joke to let me live and die, completely broken woman. But despite everything, I could not let myself lose hope. Despite everything, I could not live my life in despair. I had to believe that there was a reason for what I was going through. And look at me now. Look at me now. Because I refuse to give up on myself. A new, stronger woman is standing before you. I have truly become the butterfly. Coming out of my cocoon. So, no matter what you're going through in life, remember, if you persevere and you continue to believe in yourself, you will come through whatever it is you're going through in life. I hurt my shoulder about 4 years ago to the point to where I couldn't play guitar. For roughly 5 years, I went through a cycle of blowing out my voice. Now, the last time I blew out my voice, I didn't think I was ever going to sing again. I thought it was gone. That was it. Even if I was able to get back to playing guitar, my vocals were shot. Yes, I did accept what appeared to be the inevitable, but I never lost belief that if I was supposed to continue as a singer, my voice would eventually come back. It may not be what it was, and it isn't. As you could, I'm not so much the hard rock punk metal vocalist as I used to be. But it's okay because, my voice is back. I'm able to sing. And when it took me 4 years to get back on the guitar and playing, even back, a couple of years ago when I was playing the Warlock, my electric guitar, I was still struggling to play. When it died and I had to go to the acoustic, wow, it was so hard. It was difficult. And the album that I've got coming up, Bleeding in Texas, it's a very important album for me because it chronicles the last leg of my recovery as a guitarist and vocalist. Even 6 months ago, that was near impossible for me. And now, I got it back. Again, I may not be the heavy metal guitarist I was, but I'm playing the guitar. Look, this is probably the second, possibly the third time in my life that my guitar playing has changed. You see, when I first started, back when I was 15, I was a surf guitarist. injuries to my right wrist. I can't. It's hard for me to tremolo pick. So I had to learn another way to pick. And really, this is probably maybe only the second time, because my style of picking is only slowed down. And it's only really slowed down when I'm accompanying my guitar vocally, because I can't sustain the upper ranges like I used to back in the day. Maybe once in a while with the strings that go up the scale. But really, if you listen to what I'm doing, I really ain't going up the scale. I'm just making it louder. But I'm staying in the same register when I'm singing down here. But I learned to play a little slower, so I don't have to try to keep up. And that's the reason, baby. Oh yeah. Give my voice a new life. Give my music a new path to travel. So won't you take my hand and walk this new path with me? Take my hand and walk this new path with me. So, remember, nothing is hopeless. And there's always a reason. Always a lesson. You gotta be willing to look for it. And you've also got to accept that the reason and the teaching may not be immediately clear. And you need to just accept that you don't know and wait. Patience. This is Wicked Syrup. Peace, love, and rock and roll, y'all. Yeah.